Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today we have a historical rules event for you. Our first round is going to be the Rivertown on Contention, followed up by the skirmish Bolivar Heights Redoubt map. Before we get into this, thank you to our YouTube members for the support. If you'd like to support, go beneath the video and hit the join button. By doing so, you can get a live stream of all the broadcasts we do. You can advertise your regiment in the bottom of our videos and get an additional broadcast per week. So, our regiments for today: on the CSA side, you have the 11th Mississippi, you have the Hoods Division, you have the Lee's French Legion, you have the 6th New York, 2nd U.S. Cavalry, 88th New York, 1st Kentucky, 13th Georgia, Jenkins Brigade, 1st U.S. Sharpshooters, and the Shenandoah Regulars. Whereas on the Union side, you have the Hamptons Legion, you have 2 Corps, you have Army Northern Virginia, 6th Alabama, Texas Guard, 6th Arkansas, 20th Georgia, 17th Michigan, the Kentucky Outlaws, and the 51st New York or Serpents Brigade. So with that all being said, let's get into our server pop today. Server pop is currently 233. Imbalance is 1 towards the CSA side. No one's taking artillery, so our imbalance is as we see it. Frontline reporters for today. On our Union side here, you got Cloud from the Army Northern Virginia. We do have another POV, however, the person hasn't started live streaming that. Introduce them when we get there, but at least for now, I appreciate Cloud's POV so that we can see what's going on the ground while also seeing what is going on in the sky. So I'll get that black line out of the way in the left in a second, but contention, the game mode works. Each side is trying to capture one flagpole on a map. That flagpole is randomly chosen on the map. There's a bunch of different flagpoles. However, as just mentioned a moment ago, one is chosen. And from there, each side is trying to capture it. If you capture it, you have to hold it for 7 minutes. If you hold it for 7 minutes, you will then knock your opponent down a whole morale stage. And a new point will be chosen at random. Now, the CSA, even though they don't have the point, they can obviously go in and decap it and contest it, but they have that limited time. There is a gold timer underneath. If no one captures the point, or if no one has the point captured by the time the gold timer hits 0, then a new one will be chosen at random. However, if the gold timer hits 0 and someone still has it capped, or you're like decapping the point, well, game will at least let you finish that action out. But with that being said, CSA did not get to that point first, and now they're just kind of playing a Harper's Ferry graveyard map. And it looks like Union is at least securing that far side. A little surprising they're not all the way over here. CSA might be able to take advantage of this. But I will note Union main spawn is all the way down here. CSA main spawn is all the way over here. It might be, actually it's flipped sides. So Union spawns over there. Actually, CSA is spawning here for this round. Normally it's flipped for a normal round of this, but they chose flip sides. CSA now pushing in, getting really aggressive on the Union on point here.
Well, boys. Hold this point, hold this point.
Brave boys, brave.
Fast. Bayonets down, boys, bayonets down. Hold moving. Stonewall.
This event doesn't have a Steam chat, so the officers, if they want to communicate, they got to use the in-game voice chat system. They can't use the text chat system, and they can't talk over a call, so it's a very reactionary game. And with Conquest and Contention being these large maps, it can be very difficult to do things sometimes. Contention makes it a little easier just because everyone's fighting over one point, but normally, I will also say in this event, they have a rule where it's no bayonets until someone hits engaged, and no sprinting until the 30-minute mark. However, because we're playing Conquest/Contention, either of those modes, if we play those rules kind of go away. So it's a little fascinating. You see, you got 11 miss. What is Killer doing? Anyways, you only had some of the CSA pushing up. It was like 11 Mississippi, NYV. They tried pushing up, and a lot of the CSA teammates just kind of sat back here. LFL, 1st U.S. Sharps, HD. I don't know why they were sitting back here while the rest of their friendlies went up. I mean, CSA kind of had a jump on the Union over here. However, our CSA had a jump, rather, and the Union kind of slowly reacted. That makes sense when you don't have instant communication, but they eventually were able to respond. CSA wasn't really able to take advantage of that, and again, that's partially due to not all of the CSA going in there. So Little mistake there from the CSA's part. I will say, the thing that CSA has to watch for, and I've seen this contention in pubs a lot. I don't remember the last time I've seen contention in a private match, but when Union gets ever so closer to fully capturing this point, which you can tell based on the blue bar that's fully filling up on the top center of your screen in that circle, it's slowly filling up. But if it gets really close to Union fully capturing and knocking CSA down a whole morale stage, generally, at least from what I see in pubs, the CSA or whatever team is trying to decap the point, they'll all charge in last minute with their flags, and they don't always win that. They lose that most of the time, and as a result, they then lose their flags on the point. The opponent knocks them down a whole morale stage, and then they gotta go for the next point while not having their flags, and it just gives the team who won the point that much more of an advantage. So, contention, it's the first to two. Whoever can capture 2 of the points can win it, so CSA can afford losing a point, but you can't lose the second one at this point. So, a little bit of charging going down here. 1.5 minutes left till the Union takes this. CSA flag falling back. And again, it's these smaller CSA forces going forward and kind of getting picked apart. That's another thing too, is that this event, at least for contention anyways, it's probably really hard to plan how you're going to play a match just because you don't know where that first point is, right? You got a point that's all the way down here. You have the one that we are fighting on right now, which is there. You got one, and we're by the church there. And then one in the little campfire tent there. You got one way back here. And I feel like there's one more. Maybe not. But regardless, it can be very difficult to plan because you got to plan for 5-6 different scenarios. And I don't know how if they do that. But even if they did do it, right, trying to remember all that can be extremely difficult. So CSA is actually starting to get a foothold along Mississippi. Jenkins Brigade, you got 13th Georgia pushing up this side. Man, they're getting some good shots, slowly moving in. They have 30 or so seconds. I'm pretty sure if you start decapping the point and the blue bar fulls completely, the game will let you finish it out. I'm pretty sure. It doesn't happen too often, but we might be able to see it here.
Go, 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 Mississippi.
And they have started that decap. Union's trying to respond.
What's the right?
So blue bar's full. It looks like someone was not decapping that. At least I didn't see it. So Union knocks CSC down a whole morale stage. I mean, tickets overall are slightly in Union's favor, just considering kills, not the whole morale stage loss. We'll see where the next point is in a second, but we got some charging here. CSA is doing a little bit of winning here. The question is of flags, which it looks like you got one flag down on this side. I reckon that's a Union flag. And the next point is going to be down by both sides' main spawn. It's fascinating because the only way to get to the point is following this little road here and then circling around here. I guess you could run up here on the bridge and then shoot downward, but you know, that's not always the easiest thing. Look at what a weird little building. Brick building. But anyways, Union for the most part got out of there. That's why CSA was kind of able to clean up and win that charge. And now CSA is again on the back pedal. And it's going to be, I think this point is a lot harder for the CSA to take if Union gets it first. Actually, never mind. I keep forgetting the spawns are flipped. CSA, it's going to be a little difficult, I think, for CSA to try to go for the point here. Because, I mean, if they come from their main spawn this way, right, you got to watch out for Union shooting at your flank as you're trying to cross, but then Union's just going to be able to group all their guys in here. CSA, they just got to blob up and go in. Now, if they lose this point, they're halfway through taking losses, and if they lose a similar amount of tickets to what we saw in this previous cap, then it's going to more likely, CSA is going to be in breaking, if not more. So
Hey, you silly boy.
Raise the wall, boys. Raise the wall.
So you got Serpent's Brigade and now Texas Guards pushing up. 11 Mississippi slamming in alongside other CSA companies. Texas Guards pretty much got wiped there, got caught off guard. And CSA is at least going to get a surrounding area on this. You do have a Union group still back here for some reason. Maybe they picked up that down flag. It's the rest of TG back here, TKO and Midwest Brigade. So maybe CSA could have a numbers advantage here as they start to stroll down to this now Union point. Looks like 13th is setting up, and some 8th Florida guys. Looks like they're with them. Maybe just protecting their rear side here. But CSA is going to go down this glorious Stonewall stairs.
Oh, great.
Meanwhile, he got some quick timing. It looks nice, I will say that. But, anyways, down toward the point here. I mean, CSA can kind of work with it a little bit. They could spread out. Again, they have the obvious directly at them, but they can also try to go around. Actually, they can definitely hop over that there, so they can get across, but Union's going to be able to see them easily, which, here they go. Some 6 New York guys here. Look how grouped up Union. Oh, I see them. Oh, no.
Hold, 6, hold, don't move.
Couple get hit there. Not a significant amount. Not as much as I thought.
It's a little bit hard to get any shots there.
You can kneel for you.
Oh, to kill Chris.
Just keep shooting. HL up to
Just shoot down the road as well.
Yeah, that's
HL behind you.
front right.
Give him the Zulu treatment.
And I mean, this is the difficult thing, right? Because I don't know if CSA is going to try to charge this. I assume they're going to go in at one point. It looks like they're all grouping up behind the house, which is nice to see. But the fact that CSA lost a whole morale stage, right? They lost a half morale stage on the last point due to the ticket loss. Normally in pubs, anyways, it's around a morale stage. And with this point, probably going to have a lot of charging. CSA has to win this.
Break reloads, break reloads. Down that road, down that
Aim
road.
low. Aim low and to the right.
You got some 11 Mississippi guys trying to go out the side here. They have a nice little flank, obviously pretty dang exposed, but you also got some Union main spawns, the SB guys and 2 Corps, which a lot of TG there as well. They, if all possible, need to push up because CSA do outnumber Union on point if they all go in together, which it looks like they're about to do.
Right there. Nail him.
Nice, they're trying to go in. Guys who are aiming as they...
Give it up, Hampton.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Counter charge, HL.
Svampy.
And you got a beautiful flank here from the rest of the Union. TG going in there alongside SR. Beautiful collapse in there. CSA at chance of losing their flags. Good amount lost there, and really good hold there from Union. I was saying in the middle of the charge, but figured, you know, you might as well watch the charge. You had, when CSA first came this way, they had guys walking up to this corridor and pre-aiming, trying to shoot them, you know, get your shot off. It blocked some of their friendlies from trying to run through. It made it a little bit longer, giving Union more time to shooting. I don't know if Union would have been able to win that necessarily, but... Or, sorry, CSA would have won that even with guys doing that, or without them doing that, but... If you're just going to cross the corner, you might as well charge in. Don't stop right where your friendlies are trying to run through. That's the gist of what I'm trying to say there. Can you climb up this? This is weird. Gotta wait for the... So there's a little stairwell that goes down to here, but it just stops. I assume a ladder goes here. That'd be kind of cool, though, if you could get up here. Look how nice of a spot this is. But Union holds that pretty well. Looks like CSA did get all their down flags, and they're almost down to taking losses. We're a little over halfway through the cap point. CSA is going to be in the middle of breaking by time we get to a Union cap. CSA's got one more charge chance at this, and I mean, you can see them all chugging it out of their main spawn right now, trying to get back into the action. I mean, I don't know. CSA definitely would have the time, but the thing is, right, Union's kind of spread out here. CSA last time tried to charge in to the point, which makes sense, but Union collapsed in from numerous angles. CSA, they need to defeat the Union detail where they can. So if they can get these guys down, which it looks like you do have 11 Mississippi heading this way, 88th is following, but this is a good move here from CSA. Don't want Union running behind you and flanking you like that, because that could get your flags, but also that's just a beautiful flank. So, but the moment CSA wipe the Union here, they have to keep going and push in, because those guys that die here are eventually going to respawn at there. And I mean, they're right back into the action, so CSA's kind of have to move quick. CSA could back off this point if they want to. However, I don't think they can lose it. They're going to be in breaking at this point. Union's going to be 2 morale stages ahead. And that's a crazy thing, right? I mean, losses on both sides have been fairly even, but Union's won both flags, or they're about to win the second flag. They won the first flag at least, and so that can decide a game there.
Hello, I'd like to requisition some armaments for the Confederate Army. Let's go.
Oh my god. Oh my god. X Games. We want X Games. Yo, X Games, man.
Are you just reloading here, buddy?
What's up? He on X Games, man. He on X Games, man. He on X
CS says both sides have only a couple guys left. Union has their flags up, though, and they're starting to raise that. At least I thought they were, but they hold. Now they're starting to raise their flag. Canada doing the good work there. And TKO reinforcements, TG as well, show up. And Union's going to hold and get this point. CSA is going to be in breaking. So the issue is that at this point, sure, CSA's got a whole morale stage left. That's a lot of tickets. But they have to win 2 points in a row. And if I were Union, I would go balls to the wall with my aggression. Because again, CSA's only got a morale stage left. You can lose a point as Union, that's fine. But if you just get their tickets down completely, you can outright take this. Normally in a pub match, CSA would be in last stand right now. So, take it that as you will. But here's our next point, off by the camp there. And Union is already going to be the first ones to get there. And I mean, you don't see it as much. CSA only lost one of their flags. However, CSA all charged in last second to try to get that point. They lost. And I know Union main spawn is closer to that, but a lot of these guys running were not spawning in. They were spawning in over here, not at their main spawn. And CSA, while they're respawning, Union is gunning it to the next point. So, in a lot of ways, the first point of the match can really decide things in this mode. It's nice to see the mode at least being played, because you don't see it too often in private matches, but it's very understandable why you don't see it too often. The RNG nature of the flags can make things extremely difficult. Now, if the first point of contention was always the center point of the map, that'd be great. But even if it was that, a lot of these quote-unquote center points on the map are not really center. Someone can always get to the point quicker. But it looks like you got one Union flag. A lot of CSA are still kind of getting back. One of their flags were down, which is probably why they were still heavily contesting this side. And they do get a flag down. But again, that whole Union team is going to get about a minute or two to kind of set up their defenses. And CSA is already down a fourth of a morale stage. So, what you going to do if you're the CSA here? I don't know if there's much they can do. Because even if they do win a point or so, they're going to be down a fourth of a morale stage left and breaking. And they're definitely going to hit last stand at that point. So, it's an unfortunate situation, but that's just good play on Union's part throughout this round. They got to the point the middle point first and got to held it. Harper's Ferry Graveyard, we saw it yesterday in Grand Campaign. It's a very hard map for the attacking side, especially when we're about this 250 range. It can be really difficult because the Union don't have to defend that wide of a thing with a lot of people. But you have a Union kind of vanguard here, TKO and TG, trying to use that graveyard as an advantage. 6 New York, HD, 88th New York, 1st Kentucky, LFL, JB, naming all the CSA groups, are kind of just sitting and shoot this out. Which they need to push through. And they don't have time to dilly-dally at this point. If Union's going to spread themselves apart, you've got to take advantage and defeat them in detail. And I know they don't. It's not as easy for them to see it as us up here. However, you can connect dots, I think, relatively easily. It would be interesting for me to officer War of Rights match, though, and somebody spectate it, just to see how I would do down there. We did it once, so before. So Colquitt's defense team did not win. CSA played very, very well in that map, but also the Union comms were not the greatest, at least when I was yapping in that Steam chat. So you do got a Union group down here. They're kind of staying hidden behind CSA. NYV just gunned it right through, trying to get to the point. I don't know why these Union guys are all the way back there. I know you were kind of getting overwhelmed, but now you're putting yourself out of the fight, and we got to charge on point.
Get into him, Andy. Get into him.
Help, 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 help.
Fuck you, killer. Love you, killer. Freaking love you.
Keep going, boys.
Don't let me
Chase
kill
him down
please.
that tent.
Shut your mouth.
Chase him
Shut
down
your
that tent.
mouth.
A&V knows. A&V, hold here, right here. Independent fire, straight in front. Beautiful job, boys. Careful, Nathan, come
So
back.
good hold there from A&V. It only looks like 6th New York went in, unless 88th has all the just got a respawn wave there. But Union top guys starting to move back down into the fight. They caught the CSA at a good time here. Maybe they just fell back up top to reform. But they got a, that's not a bad spot to be in per se. However, on the point exactly, you got some Union guys trickling up. CSA doing a little end around here. Lone Mississippi, nice job. They're going to catch A&V off guard.
Break loads!
Get better at melee, you terrible.
Keep fighting, keep fighting.
There's a CSA dude right there who was aiming for like 10 seconds and then just got stabbed to death. Here come more CSA. Looks like a couple more Union guys have showed up as well. So CSA is starting to get a decap here. Again, this is they're already down a fourth of a morale stage from the start of this Union cap, halfway through breaking.
Oh, sorry.
Careful, 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 careful. T.
On this line, start shooting.
So CSA finally getting something going their way, but it's again, they only have half morale stage left before they have no more respawns. Again, Union could just go balls to the wall, and it looks like they saw that the point was lost, so they're going to try to go in and reinforce that position, maybe win it, but more importantly, just try to get them down.
To the right of us, so...
Union still hasn't lost their flags here, which good sign for them anyways.
Yeah, I think they are almost to the next stage.
On my left, 2 ranks. Independent fire. Shoot.
Almost sounds like he's saying shoe. So, CSA get the point. They've got to hold it for 7 minutes, just like Union had to. But I would not be surprised if they hit last stand.
Shot all over the damn place over here.
I mean, these Union guys, there's a lot of meleeing going on back here, which these out of lines are going to be very good for the Union side. I mean, again, the crazy part is outside of the 2 flagpoles, each side has lost the same amount of tickets.
Oh my god.
let's pick up these flags, guys.
So Union's starting to push on that rear. It seems like 20th Georgia guys for the most part. You got a mix of other groups here.
Yeah,
just like
watch friendlies.
Oh, CSA sees them.
Hey, good stuff, 20th HL. Well done.
Union's starting to kind of do a little encircling. Not a bad idea at all. Put them in a crossfire position here. And even when CSA finally gets something going their way, it doesn't feel like it. There's Sharp's carbine? No way.
Left dress, on this line.
west southwest, directly west,
Southwest,
directly west.
southwest.
Oh, you're getting them, guys. Good job.
Keep on blowing your loads
Give 'em
over
that
those
flint and
sweaty men.
steel.
Flint and
Phrasing
steel.
issues.
Don't you
Man,
wanna
that's so
start your
old.
load?
No. You got some half charging. Now they're going in Union.
Stop and go, stop and go. Get over there, that flag. Over there, that flag.
Let's go.
Into the breach.
Go from the left. Go from the left. Go from the left. Go from the left.
TG joining A and V.
Keep going, boys. Keep going. Let's go. More left.
I mean, CSA on this side don't even realize what's going on.
LFL here.
I mean, that's just kind of the nature of things.
Behind.
So, Union charge. Not a win. However, that flag should be recoverable. So, they've kept all their flags. And, I mean, they're just getting CSA closer and closer to last stand, which now you got a kind of huge Union rear side charge. HL seems to be joining 20th Georgia here for good numbers. They might actually take the point back here.
Confirm your targets! Confirm your targets,
Really good hold there from CSA. It looked bad there for a second, or at least maybe that they could get overwhelmed. However, Union's starting to see that their friendlies are still in there. TKO, 6 Arkansas joining the fun now. And this might hit CSA to last stand.
I keep forgetting we're CSA. Behind us.
How's your day going? How's your day?
And more Union collapsing, and that's going to wipe CSA completely. Oh, Schumacher's left. Maybe he could take on the whole Union team. How do they not see him? How do they not see him? Oh.
I see you, sneaky fucker.
Good job, Diabetes. So that's 2 CSA flags down, it looks like. Maybe a third. That could be a Union's flag, though. But Union decapped the point. Both sides about to drop down to their next stage. Actually, it was a CSA flag. Look at that. But yeah, our first round is going to be over here. Union's going to get a win over CSA. A pretty good one at that. But what will happen at this point is Union can win by killing all of CSA once they hit in the last stand, since they can't get respawns, or once CSA hit last stand, the point is going to cap 3/4 of the way automatically, and so then Union will just have to hold it for a minute and a half and they'll win.
You shouldn't have gone on the rock. That was a very interesting move. Independent fire and charge! Counter charge! Get in, let's go! Go!
Red's counter-charging.
Everyone's counter-charging each other. Union's taking losses. CSA going to drop any second now.
Oh my god.
Dude, who's this officer here? Eddie. Eddie was slain there for a second. And this maybe should do it. Yep. So, 3/4 of the way capped.
Hold the rocks, hold the rocks!
And in a minute and a half, this round is going to be over. The thing is that if Union wanted to wipe the CSA, they'd have to kill all but 3 of the CSA players for that to happen. And That's not that easy of a thing to do. I mean, it's easy. It's more time consuming than anything. So, Union's going to get a good first round win, and they'll have to defend well next map on the Bolivar Heights Redoubt.
9.
Which should be good.
Stay strong, Zig. Stay strong.
I don't know if these CSA guys over here are even going to get to the point in time. I mean, they've got about a minute. It'll be close. And you even got Union doing a little... They're shooting volleys in the air.
Hey, on the point? No, that's friendly. No.
Right side.
I thought that was a whole
From the
yeah,
from
there
right
we
side
go.
on the
That's something we
fence.
can volley it now. Get ready to move out. Right face, in march from column fast. Let's go. There's not much time left.
Right face, in march.
Come on. It's over.
So, yeah. I mean, Union got to the first point first. They were able to capture it and outright hold it. You know, it's a rough spot for CSA. The next point, there's almost no... I mean, I know CSA was engaged in all the melee near the point, but Union just kind of slipped out and went right away for the next point, the second point. CSA took a while to get there. We kind of saw a similar thing with the third point. And I mean, that's just the thing with contention, is that if you're reeling after the first point, it can be very difficult for you to recover and actually contest that next point well. Again, CSA didn't do bad in terms of tickets, right? They were killing a lot of Union. They just lost the point 2 times. Or 3 by the end of the match. But 2 of them, they lost 2 and it was over at that point. But anyways, that was our first round of contention. Haven't seen that in a hot minute. But we're going to go see Bolivar Heights Redoubt in a second on Skirmish. Should be a good second round. And here we are with our second round. We got Flores here for our CSA perspective for this round. Was able to sub him in, so I appreciate the POV with that. And it's kind of ironic because we didn't have a CSA reporter for round 1, and now our Union reporter, he crashed for the moment. So Cloud should be back in a second. Anyways, Bolivar Heights Redoubt. It is a CSA attacking and CSA... kind of CSA bias map. You could maybe argue that, at least felt like that in the past. But CSA's got a 34% ticket advantage to this map. The weaponry the CSA has to attack, they got the 1st Louisiana Zouaves with the Mississippi, and they have the 9th Louisiana with the Springfield 55 and the Springfield 42, so buck and ball there. Meanwhile, Union Defense, on the other hand, they got the 39th New York with the Mississippi and the 32nd Ohio with the Lorenz and the Springfield 61. So, our server count for our second round here is 260. In balance was 4 in favor of the Union side. Artillery-wise, CSA is taking 9. Union has 7. So, with that being said, there is a 7-man infantry in balance in favor of the Union side, and I'm sure they'll appreciate every single one of those numbers. So, with that being said, Union strategy is very simple. You got the berm here with the point in the center. Your job is to hold that as much as possible. If CSA gets up in this little like berm area here, in between the snake and the sticks, not the snake. I mean, maybe there could be a snake in there. Who knows, right? But you got sticks, and you have the little fortress here. If CSA plugs themselves here, you got to throw them out as quickly as you can. You don't ever want the attackers inside your little defensive area, flanking you or behind you. But CSA, inversely, their job is relatively simple as well. Get up and charge into the berm, deal as much damage as possible. Nice CSA already shot. If you could sit in this little area that I was mentioning a moment ago and just stay there for a while, keeping your flags up, respawning guys, you can do glorious things and deal a lot of ticket loss to the Union. At least that's how it's kind of been in the past. But sometimes you'll see CSA like to sit and shoot from a distance, and that's what you kind of see at the beginning of this round as well, because as mentioned in the previous round, they didn't have the rules then, but the rules now is no sprinting until the 30-minute mark and no bayonets until somebody hits engaged.
How the fuck do you team kill a guy fucking 2 feet in front of you wearing gray? I'm in awe.
So we got Cloud's view back, and we're back to regularly scheduled things. Praise be. So, Union's actually already slightly down on tickets, which is kind of surprising. Union has sent a group or two forward. So, oh, what is that? Already shot. But yeah, Union's pushed a couple groups forward, and maybe that's why they're taking a little more of a ticket loss. Again, CSA 34% ticket advantage. That's a considerable amount. So Union just gotta try their best. Obviously, Union, I think, is just trying to deal a little more damage, maybe get a better angle on them. But obviously, if you're Union, your job is to avoid ticket loss. You gotta play the timer as much as you can. If you, as a defender, can just waste a lot of time with the timer and not take a lot of casualties, that's going to be a good thing. So it's a little confusing for me sometimes to see Union push out this far. Maybe they're just trying to put more pressure on the CSA so that they don't just slowly walk up to the berm and charge in. Maybe that's why they're doing that, but which you could argue that. But if I'm Union and I know CSA can't sprint and use bayonets, or I mean Union can't sprint and use bayonets either, but I don't know how likely it is CSA push. Another great shot from CSA. I don't know how likely it is for CSA to push up, but they're kind of almost proving me wrong. They're getting really close here. And Union still has groups out, but they're kind of far back. Union's just kind of playing a slow defense, take a couple shots and fall back a little bit, and so forth. Forever great already shot. There's a missed already shot.
Northeast, boys. Northeast, keep up the fire. Aim down the line.
But all things considered, a fine start for CSA. They're getting closer and closer, kind of on all fronts. And the issue for CSA is going to be a thing of timing. If they can all push up into the berm at the same time and cause chaos, that'd be great. For them anyways. But if they go apart, Union can kind of defeat them in detail. And the flags are going to be the most important thing for the CSA. Because once they get into this little area here and try to get in the shootout with the Union, Union has a good shot of, if they push out well, to wipe CSA flags. And you, as CSA, you don't want to lose the flags right here, because if you lose your flags right, everyone has to spawn main instead of spawning on the flags right by your lines. But it's going to be very difficult for you to get that back. You'd have to charge everyone up trying to pick up a flag, because Union would just be able to kill anyone that gets close. So CSA getting really close, bringing this shootout to the max. It's not like CSA has to worry about Union charging them, so CSA can kind of just keep pushing up as much as they can.
Don't stand on the thing. Damn it, Nathan.
Don't lose your head, boys.
And actually, this event always surprises me, because you would think when you don't really incentivize charging for the first 12 minutes of the game when it's actually played, the game starts at 45, but they don't allow people to move out until the 42-minute mark. So there's really only 12 or so minutes before sprinting, and then roughly around the same time when you get engaged at this point. But it's always surprising the amount of tickets that are lost at the beginning of the round in a shootout. Maybe that's because there's increased accuracy as well, but besides all of that, it's always a little surprising. I mean, this Union defense, let's take a look where everyone is. You got 6 Arkansas holding down this far Union right. TKO, TG kind of sticking together, as they have for both rounds here. A and V more towards the center, taking the bulk of that with alongside 20th Georgia and HL. And then you got 2 Corps and SB holding out that far left side. CSA, meanwhile, kind of holding the center of the CSA like offensive line, but it's the right side of their team right now. You got LFL moving more towards the center. You got the 1st Kentucky, 13th Georgia, and then 11th Mississippi's holding down that center of the line. JB a little further left, and then the hard left of the CSA line. You got 2nd US Cav and NYV. I always find it funny. They require double ranks when you go past a certain number of men, and so it's really funny watching looking at the really tiny double rank lines. Which, in a game meta sense for War of Rights, double ranks is not always the greatest thing, right? You'll see this a lot in NA events anyways, and sometimes in Grand Campaign yesterday, but This game, it all comes down to tickets. And when you're all clumped up together like this, when you die, you lose 1 ticket. You're in formation. When you're by like 5, 6 people standing up, you're in formation. If you're crouching down, regardless of how many people you're by, and you're by 2 other people, or 1, or 2 or 3 other people, you're in skirmishing. If you die, then you lose 3 tickets. If you're all by yourself, you're out of line, and then you'll lose 5 tickets for your team. So you've seen, at least in the NA meta, them trying to figure out how far can I spread out my guys while remaining in formation. Because when you're clumped up versus spread out, it's going to be a lot easier to hit a clumped up group versus a very spread out group. But obviously, this is the historical rules event. They want to try to play more historical in the sense of like double ranks, you know, not charging a lot. Charging didn't happen a whole lot, at least compared to shooting in the Civil War. So that's why this event is geared in a lot of ways towards the rule set that they have. And it's pretty neat. It's nice to see a new rule set. And as long as everyone's having fun with it, that is really the only thing that matters, regardless of how meta it is, per se. But with the slowness of the start of the event, depending on the map, the attackers kind of have to pick up the pace. You want to hit the defenders to roughly about the engaged mark at the 30-minute mark on the time. And right now, CSA's got to pick up that pace a little bit. And once they get bayonets and can sprint, rather, it'll be more effective for them. And people not having bayonets is not the worst thing in the world. I don't think it prevents charging, right? Bayonets, it's 2 stabs to kill. If you can't use a bayonet, you hit someone with the butt of your rifle. It's 3 hits to kill. And the charges just last a lot longer, obviously, because if you don't have bayonets, right, it's 3 hits to kill someone. So just that alone. But on top of that, people aren't dying as fast, meaning the flags are going to be able to spawn a lot more people in, and those charges just kind of happen over a longer period of time. But the no sprinting rule is where I think the charging is limited, because if you try to charge when you can't sprint as an attacker, as a defender, you have more time to react, you have more time to get an extra reload, you have more time to get your bayonet on, tell your friendlies what's going on. I mean, you get not a whole lot more time, but it's enough time where it can make a difference. So I'll be intrigued to see what happens once we get to this 30-minute mark when CSA can sprint. I would not be surprised if they just went in right away. You know, that's definitely a possibility. I almost wonder, you see Union guys popping out of the berm and taking their shots, and then a fair amount of them are dying. I wonder if that is a good strat for Union or not. CSA already's been pounding the same spot all day. Props to these guys here. I mean, I know there's a good amount of them. I mean, it's LM Mississippi and HD. They're hitting some good shots here on that Union line. Which, we'll see if CSA charges. They could sprint at this point, but this is not an easy angle to hit. I mean, you're shooting uphill. You gotta... There's the breastworks too, or whatever you want to call them. The trench, the big dirt mound, whatever you want to call it, right? They have to shoot over that dirt mound. And the thing is that the dirt mound covers a lot of the infantry, so... I mean, you gotta just have the fuse time be exactly right. If it's not, you're gonna way overshoot or undershoot. We've seen that. Let's see where the shot goes here. Which, yeah, there's what I mean, right? It's either you time the fuse wrong or you just don't hit. And I wonder if they're trying to do a fuse timing or if they're just trying to hit this, which... I reckon they're not, at least that gun's not setting the fuse time right. They're overshooting by a lot. That one was short. But if I'm CSA at this point, if I see CSA already hit a great shot, I would go in. They're going to have to go in at some point, and might as well go in when he already knocks down a good amount and kills a good amount as well. It's a similar thing for Union. CSA is already, I mean, they're hitting the same spot. They could spread out a little bit, It's not the worst thing in the world if you're not
Scottish, I need your eyes
covering every part of the berm.
Gentlemen, go with gentlemen.
I mean,
Gentlemen, go right side.
if once CSA charge in, you then can collapse on that area, but it's not like you have to hold there right now.
Anything on the berm, anything on the berm's enemy, start shooting.
Come on. Peek it. Come on.
I mean, yeah, you can barely see the Union guys, but the moment they pop up, another good CSA already shot.
Come on.
Maybe CSA is waiting for engaged, for everyone to have bayonets before they go in.
And you shot the berm. Nice one.
Yeah, I did. Hey, it's like when you crazy how
Actually, JB's pushing out here. You have some Union guys really far out here, 6th Arkansas. They're getting great angles, don't get me wrong. But the moment CSA charges, I hope they react quickly because, I mean, sure, there's about 10-ish guys there, but, you know, every man can make the difference. Numbers are a huge thing in this game, and especially when you have these big team charges on the point, every person can matter.
you cannot. So stop trying, please.
Why didn't you just shoot backwards? That man did a 360.
Alright, make sure you got buckable. Ceasefire, be ready to move.
Looks like they're waiting for the engaged mark, and then CSA is going to go in.
Remember, boys, I blame Arrow. He shouted at me.
Go, go.
Get those bayonets off.
Six. Run.
Uh oh, you got some guys prematurely, unless there was a server announcement.
Come back.
Nothing yet. A little premature bayoneting. Yeah, some 2-core guys running out. I mean, they're getting a couple nice shots, but again, you don't know if it's tickets they can necessarily afford, right? So, bayonets are now live. Oh my goodness, the amount of bodies here.
Hey, Eddie, we're gonna run it right. Can't get an entrance.
Over here, 13th.
Cool kids.
You're gonna run left, right.
Yo,
there's enemies on the left. What do you want? I know, Parker told me to tell you look left and shoot yes.
That we're gonna go right. We're gonna get an entrance on the right. Charging at 25. 25.
And a prime example there of just communication happening. Flores was talking to Eddie there a moment ago, and then talked to NYV, and we'll see how it goes. 25 seconds of those charged. Now, I don't know what right is, if right means there or further. I assume it's there, because it's clean access there. That's another part of the thing, is that it can take time for the attackers to plan and do something. So, with that being said, here we go.
Fuck. 25. At the sprint.
I was like, are they going? You do have NYV going straight in, which, I mean, this is the thing, right? They heard their friendlies were going right. Not all the Union. You got some more following them as well. JB going in. Those guys are going to get wiped quickly. However, they might be able to pull off some of the Union, distract them. 2nd U.S. Cav goes right in. London, Mississippi still trying to flank around. More CSA pouring in, and again, at this point, flags are going to be the most important thing as both sides are engaged. 11 Mississippi, they need to go on the berm. They should not be sitting back there while the rest of their friendlies are going in. So you got some Union guys trying to flank around, get some flags. Not a terrible idea. Time is Union's friend on this map, especially with this rule set. So you need to use it to your advantage. If you can get those flags down for 5 minutes, that can be huge. 1 Union flag down, though. I don't know why London, Mississippi is just sitting out and shooting here while the rest of their friendlies are going in and actually doing pretty well. You also have a lot of Union units just kind of sitting back as well, which is giving CSA kind of a shot here. That's now another Union flag goes down. Oh my goodness. I don't know who shot that. I pray that wasn't CSA Artie. My goodness. Don't tell me Union's now going to charge you, London, Mississippi. That's crazy. again, you're defending the berm. There's no real reason. I mean, they're probably trying to get the flag, all things considered. But there's still a lot of CSA guys here, and nice flag discipline from the Alum Mississippi flag bearer here. So that's going to be a quick wipe on their part. Good job by Brother Thule there. CSA still kind of alive in the middle. And I mean, tickets are dropping on both sides. You want to get the defender into taking losses by the 20-minute mark, which they're definitely not going to do that. Flanking shots here from 6 Arkansas. Nice angle there. Let's see. It looks like that flag's starting to run back towards the center. CSA's got all 3 flags. Here comes some Union.
Can you not look right? Does that button not work for you?
You got a lot more Union starting to pour in, though. 2 flags moving over here as well, and this might be it for CSA.
Thank you, you saved me, Kitsley.
Left oblique, left oblique.
Keep the flags down. Keep enemy flags down. Go.
3 CSA flags down. And they're not going to get that 3rd one. They were out. And, I mean, that's killer for CSA. Oh, who's this? Oh, he ran right through. Why did he pick up the flag? Unfortunate. But, anyways. Oh, never mind. He ran back. Saw the error of his ways. And, I mean, every flag's going to be important. Nice job there. La Perdrix. I probably said that wrong. It's probably French for something. Anyways, 88th New York looks like they're going to move in, and I assume they're trying to get the flags. Which I don't know why they'd be pushing up here other than... Oh my goodness. You can't go through there. Assuming they... I'm going to assume they just went in there to try to get the flags. I don't necessarily get that. There's no reason for CSA to charge in there unless they're trying to get their flags at this point. They're down a 4th of a stage. They're down 2 flags. And at this point, it's rough, right? Because these flags, they got a 5-minute despawn timer on it. So if CSA wants them back, they got to wait till the 16, 17-minute mark to actually have someone spawn in with it. And then they got to spend a minute or so moving up to the battlefield, and it's just a rough situation. Now, at this point, Union is about a 4th of a stage from taking losses, so, I mean, tickets are fine for CSA. You're down a 4th of a stage. It's kind of getting to that iffy point. As an attacker, you don't want to be down a 1/3 to a half morale stage. When it gets to that point, you start to panic a little, and I think, maybe not panic, but you start to get a little worried about your tickets, because... when each side hits their final stage at the last time of final push and last stand, the attackers have a limited time. The black timer will drop to a certain amount of time. If the time's too low, it won't drop. But regardless of the limited time, they can infinitely spawn in people. Defenders, when they hit their last stage, cannot respawn anymore. So if both sides hit that final stage at the same time and they each have their flags, hypothetically, right, attackers can keep spawning in dudes, the defenders can't. So it's very difficult for a defender to outright win if both sides hit at the same time and both sides still have their flags. Now, if the attackers don't have their flags, depending on the map, it can get interesting. But that's why generally as an attacker, or a defender anyways, you want that buffer of a 1/3 to a half a morale stage. Which Union's doing so far, which is good to see. We did see the shootouts, I think, slightly favor CSA, and yeah, that would kind of make sense despite the Union great cover. I mean, they're down 34% tickets on the CSA, and there's so many variables going into a shootout that it's generally a 1-to-1 trading kills, which means a 1-to-1 trade in tickets lost. And since the attackers have more tickets overall, you would generally think they do better. Now, the thing with a shootout, though, is even though the attackers generally win in the long run, they always don't have enough time to outright shoot down their opponent, which, even with, it seems, this ballistic update, you've seen maybe a few more instances of the attackers being able to shoot down the defenders, but It really hasn't changed the whole charging meta. Which, speaking of this, I think this is NYV. Yep.
Excuse me, have you seen the CSA by any chance?
Excuse me!
That stick just block a shot? Next time on War of Rights Mythbusters, my goodness, CSA's going in again. Those flags are still down. Second US Cav charging in here. I mean, you saw some Union over, but they're going to go completely in. CSA dropped to taking losses, Union shortly to follow.
Hey guys.
There goes Union. Flags have oh, never mind, they're still there. CSA moving in the center. If CSA picks up a flag and it goes down again, 5-minute timer restarts. So I'm a little surprised to see CSA go in, but they've got to deal with ticket loss, so you don't necessarily blame them for charging in.
They're all coming to us.
Nice job.
I do see a couple of Union guys trying to go around. It looks like they were trying to get a CSA flag, but again, good flag discipline. CSA flags have despawned, so CSA should get them back, and Union should be able to slowly push Union out, or CSA out of here.
Restez coupés, messieurs. Restez à droite. On fait gaffe tout seul. Restez rechargement, on se barre, on est plus 3.
And that's going to end that there.
51st, square over here, squareman reform the man.
So CSA going to reform, having all their flags back. I'm sure they appreciate that. And I mean, that charge, it seems to have evened out the tickets. Maybe that shootout beforehand did, I don't know. But the past couple of minutes here, it has appeared that the tickets are back even. So good on CSA there. Not necessarily a charge you would normally expect, but again, limited time on the clock. They got to push the pace. And that was a good charge.
Hamptons. Oh, fuck. Jesus Christ. Jesus. Direct flick.
Smiley son of a bitch.
Oh my god.
So the question is going to be, when is CSA going to do the charge? Now, they're very spread out right now, obviously with flags not being up and people spawning in at main versus spawning in on the fighting. You know, it's just everyone's going to kind of be spread out. I wonder how they're going to go about this, though. Because they can't really go in on their own, or else they're just going to get picked apart. And I'm really intrigued to see if it's going to be one group just saying, screw it, we got to go in and charge, and if the rest of the friendlies see and then join in, or if it's going to be a coordinated effort. That's, honestly, I've almost started to prefer, I wouldn't, obviously, this is just my spectating POV and not actually like leading and playing, but it almost, at least watching, it's kind of neat when they don't have a Steam chat, because, nice order shot from CSA, because, I mean, at least I think it's a lot easier to understand what everyone's thinking compared, because when everyone's in a Steam chat, right, you don't know what they're talking about in there and what they're planning. And I mean, usually coordination goes pretty well in it, but in the no Steam chat events, you can really see who's kind of aware of what's going on and what they're doing. It's it's neat. And especially when these servers start to get, you know, 350, 400, 500, not on this skirmish map, but a lot of the other skirmish map, the defenders can defend the whole width of the map. And when you have a Steam chat, the whole defending team can instantly respond and just react to any attacking movement. Whereas if you don't have a Steam chat, that instant communication might not be there, and it gives the attackers the chance to kind of break through. So I think it's neat in that regard. But of course, we'll see how this charge goes in a second. CSA is hitting far, Union right. This looks like it was coordinated. Some CSA pressuring center, but this looks like the start of it. CSA kind of holding their ground, although they're kind of weakened out. CSA having to shoot out in the center. They're getting pretty beat up there over there as well. If CSA can keep the flags planted, like the two of them here, if they can keep them planted and just keep spawning guys there, that'd be great for them. But it looks like Union's getting some great shots. You got like Gamebot and Killer there throwing lead with their pistols here.
Hey, somebody kill that guy before he kills me. Thank you.
And they're backing up each other. That's why they're both in the Army in Northern Virginia. My goodness. And that's 2 down CSA flags there, which CSA cannot afford. Again, it's a time thing at this point. This charge was great for tickets for CSA, but, I mean, those 2 flags, if down, they're going to be down until the 7-minute mark. And they won't get into the fight until the 6-minute mark. And, again, not a lot of time. So, good job on Union for getting these CSA flags down when they've had the opportunity. It can be hard at times.
Très bien. Jamais dire le Yankee. Oui, très bien.
I'm guessing Flores is trying to speak some French to the Frenchman here. That's another neat part. It's just kind of a cool side thing, is that you got a bunch of different people. You got French, Russians, Germans, Dutch. I don't know if there's any Spanish, like Spaniards, but you got English here as well, obviously. It's just, you got all different kind of languages and groups of people here. It's pretty cool with just the language. The fact, that's what makes this event, and I assume, I don't know about the UEC. I know UEC has a lot of German regiments in it. That's the Friday and Saturday big European event, outside of like the Grand Campaign that I cover on Saturday in Blue and Gray, which is on Friday. But there's a lot of different languages here, and the fact that they're able to communicate and make a good, or a plan, you can argue if a plan is good or not, but the fact that they can make a plan and work together as a team, it's very impressive. So both sides about to hit breaking. I don't mind Union going out like this. Obviously risk for tickets here, but again, if you can keep the CSA flags down, that's huge. Because again, time is really how Union should try to win this map, especially with the rule set. And again, those 2 CSA flags aren't going to be recovered, or at least gotten back till the 6-minute mark. At least they're not going to be in action until the 6-minute mark. CSA could try to charge them out and try to get them back, but you know, maybe that's not a bad idea, because they need to deal ticket loss anyway on the Union. And honestly, they should kind of charge at this point, because if they shoot this out for the next few minutes, they're not going to get Union down a considerable amount.
Shot 6.
To be fair, they can't.
You're back instead of keep them shots up, boys.
We're all gonna go breaking anyway.
So Union drops to breaking. And it looks like the companies without their flags are moving around the map. Second US Cav, NYV, and it looks like they just tried to stay in cover as much as they could, at least with this elevation, because look how, like, doesn't, you know, zooming up here, it's not a crazy, doesn't look like a crazy elevation change, but when you go down there, it's big. Mass charge, I really like this from CSA. They're going to get their flags back too, at least they should. Now will the rest of the CSA see that and go in as well? You can kind of see on the right side, looks like they're starting to do that, and we got a mass charge. This is huge for CSA. This is going to define the round, probably.
Not again, cannon.
CSA starting to take an edge on that side, getting a Union flag down.
I still fear shot.
Union hold on their left. This center left side, though, CSA's like they've kind of taken over this part of the berm. Union has lost half a morale stage right now, and CSA's barely lost any in the breaking. What a charge there from CSA. Union was spread out a little too much, and looks like most of the CSA charged the center left side, and were able to overwhelm that Union side, get a flag or two, while smaller CSA force distracted a lot of Union in the center here, and CSA kind of picked them apart. Again, the beauty of no Steam chat sometimes is you can't perfectly react to everything. Makes things that much more intense. Also, while seeing the top ticket bars as nice, it removed a lot of intensity within this game, and it made things more ahistorical in my opinion. But that's another Union flag down, CSA charging through. They're going to try to cap the point. Union main spawn all the way over there. They're gunning it this way. They actually do get a CSA flag here, some TKO TG guys, to try to get it back if possible. Looks like Ali Kite is getting it. Union should have a shot, though, of at least trying to hold the point. I mean, how many are spawning from main for CSA? Not a whole lot. They actually kept the flag all the way out there. But Union, if anything, regardless of how this goes, they're going to hit last stand. They need to get CSA flags down to have a shot.
13 Georgia 8-4, 6 New York, get your bayonets off, defend yourself! Never mind.
CSA just needs to hit Union to the last stand and keep their flags alive at this point.
Keep looking south, Confederates! Keep looking south! There you go! Shit, sorry!
It's one flag down, two.
Kill Chopper, I kill you.
And they hit last stand. So, Union die, they don't come back. Considering the flag discipline of the CSA this round, which has been okay, they've done surprisingly well. That's 3 CSA flags down. No, it's 2. That's a little surprising to see, but you know, you'll take it. Looks like you got more CSA streamlining upward. Again, every kill CSA gets, they don't come back. And one of Mississippi's going to collapse in. Don't mind this charge as long as they protect their flag. Union's still pretty scattered out from the charge. You got a lot more starting to move up, though. And Union, they've got to hold for 5 minutes and to outright win, and I don't think they're going to do that. And these server pops, you see usually defenders holding out for about 3 minutes in charges and whatnot. So I like what Blucher's doing here. Again, trying to get these flags here is pivotal for the Union side. You can't let CSA sit. Similar to what we said earlier, right? You can't let them sit in the berm or on the point with the flags constantly respawning dudes in the middle of the fight. You want CSA to spawn all the way back in main, where it's going to take them a minute and a half to get up to the fighting.
Fill the gaps. Fill the gaps.
I am alive.
This is where we hold them!
Move the flags away from the rifles so the artillery
We put our foot in the ground!
But nonetheless, CSA's got one flag, 4 minutes on the clock. CSA's got the time. 2 quarters going out there again. Oh my! CSA already cooking this round. Unlike in a normal situation where Artie might kill a couple dudes and they'll respawn quickly, they can no longer respawn. That was a great shot.
Not an infant!
USA.
Is that a flag from the USA?
I'll tell you.
We can do it.
USA.
Here they come, left oblique. Left
They're coming.
Shots on
There they go.
Here they are! Here they come! They're trying
Friendly. Hey, we're friendlies. Don't turn around. We're friendlies. Don't turn around. We're friendlies. Don't turn around. Press P.
Did you vote for Abraham Lincoln?
So that is going to be the end of our historical rules event today. They got to kill, again, all but 3 guys left, which looks like it's only the artillerymen and maybe 1 or 2 infantry guys. But, yeah. I mean, CSA had some iffy flag. They had some flag, keeping their flags a flag discipline. But in the end, it didn't matter. CSA kept up the aggression in the second half of the round, which they needed to do to have a shot at this. And again, Union messed up in one of those charges, and CSA got a half morale stage lead, and it was over at that point. So, really well done to the CSA side. I mean, there's not a whole lot Union can do on this map. They just got to sit behind the berm and hold the CSA charges, which, I mean, Union was able to get some of the CSA flags down. It was good. Not get all of them, but they got a couple of them. But in the end, CSA just had a great charge on Union, kind of picked them apart in detail, and that was the round. So, good job, CSA. Anyways, with that all being said, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you want to support the channel more, go beneath the video and hit the join button. By doing so, you can get a live stream of all the broadcasts we do. You can advertise your regiment in the bottom of our videos and get an additional broadcast per week. Besides that, though, we have our Discord and Clips channel in the description. The Clips channel is the daily YouTube shorts. We had them on this channel, however, moved them to a second channel for a lot of reasons, but they're there. Anyways, I appreciate you guys. I could not do it without you all, and we will see you all in the next one. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your night.